everyone. Today I get to dip my toes into a big name which so many of you have been telling me for so long that I need to get to, and that is Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'm kind of eager to see what all the talk has been about for so long. I have a bit to read first. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are an American rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1982. Their music incorporates elements of alternative rock, funk, punk rock, hard rock, hip-hop, and psychedelic rock. Their eclectic range has influenced genres such as funk metal, rap rock, and nu metal. Oh, that's a bit of a tongue twister. With over 120 million records sold worldwide, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are one of the top-selling bands of all time. They hold the records for most number one singles, 15, most cumulative weeks at number one, 91, and most top 10 songs, 28, on the Billboard Alternative Songs chart. They have won 6 Grammy Awards, were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012, and in 2022 received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Released as a single in June 2000, Californication reached number 69 on the US Billboard Hot 100, number 16 on the UK Singles Chart, and number 1 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks and Modern Rock Tracks charts. Well, this sounds like a pretty big piece, not just a pretty big band. So, Californication. That's going to be interesting. Let's see what it's all about.
Steal your mind's elation, and little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotation. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication. It's the edge of the world in all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it's settled in a final location. It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. Pay your surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your chin, or is that war you're waging? Firstborn unicorn, hardcore, softcore. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication.
So this opening riff intro, which is now featuring as a riff throughout the piece, it's interesting to hear the way that when the first few notes are plugged, it feels like it's going to be, I don't know, a folk ballad or something like that. It has a very gentle, lilting quality to it. And then when the percussion comes in, the drums, it's playing with a rhythm, a beat, which is really quite march-like, almost like part of a parade band. And that mix, the lilt, the sway, we could say it's the ebb and flow of, I don't know, for speaking of California, it's the waves on the beach, it's the palm trees. I'm talking Southern California. And then this drum rhythm, it's kind of, it's bringing you into the march mindset, the fall into line, get in step, and move forward in formation quality to my ears. And along with the lyrics, it kind of gives me the feeling of, okay, this is a paradise. There's sea and sand and palm trees and sun, and this is Southern California. This is Hollywood. But then, of course, you have to do all that's expected of you to live the life that you think that you want to have. And the drums are speaking of that part of it, while the guitar and bass are kind of giving the overall vibe of the surrounding natural world.
Marry me, girl, be my ferry to the world, be my very own constellation. A teenage bride with a baby inside, getting high on information. And buy me a star on a boulevard, it's Californication. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. In Cobain, can you hear the spheres singing songs off station to station? And Alderon's not far away, it's Californication. Born and raised by those that praise control of population. Everybody's been there and I don't need no vacation. Firstborn unicorn.
This portion of the piece here, where we have the whole band playing together, the push of the sound carrying us along, the drums, the guitar, all that wash coming through, and then in this context, which is tending towards the harder sound, we have this very sweet and gentle ooh, vocally, and I was trying to decide, does it fit or does it not fit? It kind of plays with you a bit. Does it feel like it belongs there? It kind of does, especially if you start to imagine it being violins. It can work with the strings, the guitar, the drums, and everything, but something about it feels kind of out of place, intentionally so, as if you just shouldn't quite feel comfortable here. And only when he gets to this sort of chorus here.
Firstborn unicorn. Hardcore softcore.
Strong bass.
Dream of California.
When he gets to the chorus, dream of Californication, suddenly it all congeals, comes together, and becomes one voice, we could say. I try to be careful not to read too much into the music when I understand that it's stylistic custom. It's part of the musical style, but at the same time, when something works really well, there's always a reason that it works really well. And it may not be intentionally meant to say this or convey this by the creator, but there's a reason it works, and very often the creator's instinct just somehow knows that that's the way it ought to be, that it's going to work that way. And then we get to have the fun of unraveling and saying, why is it so compelling? Why does it work? To me, as I'm listening to the lyrics, the music, all for the first time, we have this hard line that's heavy on the bass with those oohs that maybe they just don't quite belong there, but okay, they sound kind of nice there, but something is a little bit uncomfortable. That is setting space, maybe the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Cobain, can you hear the spheres? By the way, Kurt Cobain's name shows up in here, and I have heard Kurt Cobain, so I'm feeling quite accomplished in the moment. Can you hear the spheres singing songs off station to station? Born and raised by those who praise control of population. It's this setup of, okay, this is not the paradise that we would like to think that it is. This is not the life of living in a perpetual vacation, the life of glamour and ease and wonderful experiences. This is the reality. This is the reality of what it is to survive in this environment. It's a kind of Californication. And only when we come to the words dream of Californication, that's where we come to the one voice, the unifying musical quality. And it kind of brings us around to the idea that this is a dream. And it's so wonderful in a dream. And it feels so good as we dream of it and we imagine it. But the truth is, the reality is not so unified, not so wonderful and clear. It's a little bit rougher around the edges.
Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication.
Interesting that even that solo section, the solo guitar, it's kind of plucked, has that lilt quality. Dum dum dum. It's kind of light and there's a delicacy to it. There's a charm to it. A little bit of sparkle to it. But I wouldn't say it sounds incredibly alive. It's kind of like we get there and we realize, okay, yeah, there's tinsel on everything, but this doesn't really make us live inside. And then, of course, there's the powerful bass, which is, I'm noticing, is really quite a feature of this piece. It's heavy on the bass end. And then we come back to this lilting riff.
Destruction leads to a very rough road, but it also breeds creation.
Here the drums are
An
back,
earthquake's out to a
bringing us
girl's
into
guitar,
line.
that's just another good vibration. And tidal waves couldn't save the world from Californication. Hey, our surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. Sicker than the rest, there is no test, but this is what you're craving. Firstborn unicorn, hardcore, softcore.
Well, it's so interesting to me to hear this piece of music. One of the big names, which had a lot of influence, a bit later than, well, started in the early 80s, so I assume 80s and moving forwards. And it's fascinating to me to hear references to things in the music, in the lyrics, which I've actually heard before. And it's the first time that I really recognized something, Kurt Cobain's name. And that brings up some cross-references in my mind. It's the first time that I've kind of had this experience listening in this project, and knew what was going on. I've heard some pieces which referenced, I guess, some of Bob Dylan stuff that I listened to, or something had some references to somebody else or something else, and maybe even a couple of the Beatles songs. No, I don't think it was the Beatles. Anyway, there have been a few along the way, but I didn't know the references myself. I read about them, or I was told about them, but I didn't pick it up myself. This is the first song where, as it happens, I suddenly realized, oh, it's referencing somebody that everybody knew at the time, a name that was popular, well known, on the radio, and it's putting this in the context. So that's interesting for me to feel and catch for the first time in a piece of rock music, and it happened here with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, I know this is a big band, and I know they've put out quite a few popular pieces, and I've seen in the comments many of you have listed quite a few that I ought to listen to. So this won't be my last one. It can be my first, of course. And yes, I can hear they're a bit more recent sounding than Pink Floyd or of course the Beatles. Even they even sound more modern than Queen. And so I feel like it's moving forward, and at the same time I'm kind of getting a sense of the context and the progression of things, which is also a nice feeling for me to have. It's a catchy song. And as I said, I don't want to read too much into the music, but I found those things which made sense to me in the context. Whether they were intentional or not doesn't really matter. It sounds kind of like a piece of music that was meant to simply get your attention and make you want to listen to it, play it, sing along with it. It's not trying to be terribly profound, but it has this feeling of perhaps a bit of ennui, where yeah, we've been here, this was the dream. And you can even hear it in the voice when he sings Firstborn Unicorn, and then it kind of fades off, and hardcore soft porn, and the music just doesn't quite, the melody, the voice never gets really excited about life, about this world. And that comes through to me, and I guess that much was intentional. So there we have Red Hot Chili Peppers, my first listen to the band, not my last, with Californication. And I'll be looking forward to your comments and additional insights in the comment section. And I'll see you soon.